Today I want to make a quick video about how the character creating system works in the new game that I'm making. So this is an RPG type roguelike-esque game, which is inspired by the fighting fantasy game system that was created by Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson in the 1980s or so, and which basically is D6 operated. As with all my games, there is a difficulty setting which will influence how much character and gold you start with. So in this tutorial, I'm just going to go for the normal difficulty, and of course, as always, I'm allowing people to do very powerful characters, which would allow you just to go through the story and defeat everything without much trouble for those people who are just interested in the story. And an impossible, which I cannot see how it's done, although people have told me that in the past they've managed to defeat my games even in impossible mode. This is something that I don't know how to do myself. So well done to those who can do it. Anyway, I'm going to select normal difficulty. And the game starts by asking you what type of character you will want to play. I'm allowing 4 different types of character classes: a fighter, a cleric, a rogue, which would be sort of like a thief or a ranger or something like that, and a wizard. Now, wizard are both my own favorite characters to play, and from the Choice of Game forums, it seems most people who've played this game, the demo of this game so far, have played as wizard, so I'll choose a wizard. This is the map of this fantasy world that I'm creating, and it's still not fully fleshed. It's a work in progress. I'm adding more things as I see how this all starts to fit in my mind. But anyway, it's a good starting point to the game, and the game will take place around this area here between Blackport and the City of Orleans in these mountains called the Icepeak Mountains. Now, eventually you get to this page where you have your points to distribute. So in this case, because we chose normal difficulty setting, then we have 10 points to spend. Now we have an attack of 6, defend of 6. This is used for melee combat. We have climbing 4, swimming 4, perception 4, deactivate traps 4, open lock, and stealth 4. Note that because I've created the wizard, there'll be a limit to how much I can raise these by. We've got 7 hit points and currently no mana. Mana is used to cast spells, and the system for mana is not too dissimilar to what I created for Tokyo Wizards, for those of you who've played that game. Now, let's say that I will start by increasing my general abilities and hit points. Because I'm a wizard, I'm going to need some mana points. And that is interesting. Is this a bug? Class-related abilities and spells. Okay. So here I should increase my mana by 1 point. Maybe another point. Let's give myself at least 5 mana points. Then I'll choose my spells. So these are all the spells that are available to me. I have a strength spell, which will allow me to open, break doors, levitate spell, ray of different types of rays, swimming, climbing, fly, fireball, and lightning bolt. I like my fire wizard, so I'm going to do a ray of fire. I'll get a fireball, always a classic in any of these environments, and I'm going to get levitate. And then I'll go back to main menu, and I have class-related abilities and skills. Now in this case, because I'm a wizard, I'm only able to increase my mana, but for other character classes, like for example the fighter will have access to different types of attack, like a mighty blow, and that will allow him to do different things. The thief will also be able to backstab enemies and things like that. But in this case, all I can do is increase my mana. General abilities, I think I'll spend my last points, maybe increasing my hit points by 1. And I've got no more points to spell. So these are my Initial stats: attack 6, defense 6, climbing 4, swimming, perception, whatever. So I am done. And then I'm asked to choose my character race. I've always had a thing for half elves, maybe because of like the Dragonlance books. One of my favorite characters was the half elf in that, so I'll play a half elf. This gives me defense +1, perception 1, and swimming 1. And now the game asks me to choose my god. There are a total of 8 major gods in the game, and they all relate to a certain element. So, for example, Kathos would be the god of war, associated with fire and orcs. Lithanthe would be the major god of elves, associated with this sort of earth and water, would be the god of justice, protection, nature. And you can go through these and read them. These gods do play a major part in the game, in that different things that you will do will influence how the gods see you, and this will sometimes have effects on the game. So in this case, I think I will go for Thunador, the god of storms, thunder, and sea. Okay, sorry, this is the description of the different gods. When you're ready to make your choice, you can actually choose your god, or actually you can choose nobody. The gods will not take it lightly, but you can choose not to have a patron god. You can specify your own name, so I'm going to call myself, of course, as always, and I'm a male. As I'm a wizard, I can start with a dagger or a staff. I'll go for the staff. And then this will start to teach you some of the lore of the game. So although this is a kind of dungeon crawlers type game, there is some lore and there is a setting of the game that I'm creating also for another game, a sequel at sort of like a game similar to Tokyo Wizard, which is set in this world. So anyway, I think this is pretty much the end of the character creation, so I'll leave it at this, and maybe another day I'll make another video showing how the rest of the game works.